Listen up, it's longing, and I have a melody that I kinda don't like. It has potential, but sounds a little off, unprofessional, unpolished, a little shitty. Doesn't have that magical edge in beautiful music like this. But even that beautiful piece I made started as something that wasn't that good. And I eventually just made it better. I'll be showing you my process of turning this into this. Basic static volume levels. Setting the volume levels allows you to place the instruments you want in the front, in the middle, in the back. Allows you to adjust the focus of everything. So let's adjust the focus here. We got chords. I usually like chords to be in the middle, so we'll just set this. I honestly want this main melody to be much louder than the chords. So we're gonna turn the chords and the bass down a couple dB. We're gonna turn the bass up a little. Too loud. Already sounds a lot more professional. We have this ambient flute. It kind of clashes with the main melody a little too much. We need this to be more ambient and in the background. And now we have bells. This needs to be much quieter. Another way to make something more in the background, automate the pan. A plugin I like to use is Pancake 2. So if you want something to be more out of the way, just slap on Pancake 2 to add movement to it and keep it on the sides instead of clashing with the stuff in the middle. So let's look for the imaging. We're gonna put on some Pancake 2. And now we're gonna turn the mix down based on what we want. And the volume. We can also add a little Pancake 2 on these arpeggiated chords with the harp. It's so beautiful. Wow. So fucking beautiful. Have the basic volume level set. We need to use a reference track. Let's say I want my orchestral track to sound like Joe Hisaishi. So I'll just pull up a Joe Hisaishi track, like Merry-Go-Round of Life, and I'm going to compare the frequencies and use it when I mix. If you want to match something to a reference track with no effort, you can use EQ matching. I'm going to be using Match EQ, but this can be done with such as the Ozone EQ, which was free at one point, I think. We're gonna drag a reference in this Match EQ. The Match EQ is analyzing the frequency spectrum, and we're gonna mute this. And then we're gonna analyze our track. Honestly, hearing it compared to the reference, there needs to be more bass. Like, I don't even need the Match EQ to let me know that we need more bass. So now we match it. And notice how the EQ notices the same things I do. It needs more bass. So we're just gonna mess around with the EQ. We're just gonna hear it, how it sounds like. Oh, this sounds wrong. Well, it sounds clearer, low-key. Wait, this kind of sounds good, but like cursed at the same time. So we're gonna turn the intensity of the Match EQ. Without the Match EQ, it has this warmth. It lacks clarity. With the Match EQ on, it has clarity, but it lacks warmth. So we gotta find the middle point where it has just enough clarity. Ew, there's a fly. Ew. Now using Match EQ, you have a tone that's pretty similar to your reference track. You can just separate the sounds. So how I'm gonna separate the sound is Wait, I gotta check my notes. We need a pocket EQ everything to make them more separated. So we're gonna find sounds that clash with each other. These sounds kind of blend in. There seems to be some clashing between the chords. So let's find a nice frequency that would sound really good on the flute. We'll do this in context. I really like the 3K range. It adds this power. So now I boosted the EQ on the flute, and I'm gonna copy that EQ and place it on the piano, like what I did there. And instead of boosting it up, we're gonna boost it down. So the piano and the EQ and the flute are separated. Notice how on 3K, I boosted 4.8, but on the piano at 3K, I reduce it. Now there should be some separation, but I think I overdid it a little. There seems to be some life taken out of the piano, so we can just tone this down. Oh no, I just need to gain match it a little. Okay, we're gonna boost up the gain. Low-key, the piano's better quieter. So notice there, it wasn't just the EQ. I actually changed the volume levels. Piano is quieter, so maybe the issue wasn't the pocket EQ stuff, but the volume. But it's fine. You can find different routes to the same solution. I could have used the volume fader, but using an EQ to change the volume, that's fine. It might be kind of redundant, but whatever works for you. And as long as it works and sounds better, it's good. If you're like a hobbyist or you just want to focus on the art, you don't need a gain match everything to the precise decibel. It's kind of a waste of time unless you're working on physical consoles, but we don't need to do that since we're purely in the box. Like, even if it's not gain match, as long as it sounds better, right, it should be fine. You don't need to overthink it. There appears to be some separation, but there also seems to be some edge loss. So I think I might want to compensate for that by adding more energy in the flute with some slight distortion. Fuck off, fly! Fuck off! This fly's on my computer. Ew, my room is a mess. Okay, let's add some edge with some overdrive. Distortion adds a little more creaminess to the flute. And now it's more mellow, more smooth with the separation for these instruments. I prefer it. I want to make this background instrument a little more ambient, so we're just gonna turn down the 3K on this flute just to make the flutes pop out a little more. I noticed with that reduction of 3K on most of the background instruments, there's less harshness, but at the same time, there's more power in the flute. Due to the separation method, you just need one focus instrument, and then you need to find a frequency that you like in it, boost it, and for every other background instrument, you remove that frequency. We need to see if the individual instruments are calling off of each other or if they are just crowding over each other. So it seems like the harp is crowding over it, so we'll just make it less constant and have it come in maybe every fourth bar. It's beautiful. Or every half measure. Have it come in every half measure and have it come out so it's less obtrusive. And if we want this feeling of push and pull, maybe we can add a silence so this ARP part can have more impact. So where this lies, we remove the piano. And now we should have some tension and some push and pull. But now it's a little empty here. So we can just add in a little melody to make things more happy. Yes. Ba ba ba. Perfect. Now we have a little response melody. All we need to do is just select a sound that works. So we're just gonna go and use my Philharmonic, my precious Philharmonic that I got for free from some. I love you, some. Hit the keys, man, some here. Okay, so now we're just gonna look for a little woodwind instrument, just a cute little woodwind, maybe a clarinet. I played a clarinet when I was in elementary school. It was such a nice instrument, and we're gonna use portato because a portato is a cute word. It's like a potato, and we're gonna select it randomly, and we're gonna see how it sounds. Oh no, it's too staccato-y. Then we'll just force legato everything, so the notes are long. Or we'll just do that. Oh, that was a happy little accident. That extra note at the end happened from me highlighting this, but I realized it sounded so good. And we'll extend these notes over here. We need to adjust the velocity just to make everything less lifeless and more realistic. We're gonna make it crescendo for some emotion. And we're gonna have it fade out at the end over here. It sounds so wrong when you just just like let it stop like that. It's like you're gooning and edging, but there's no climax. I hope my parents aren't watching this video. Okay, now we're gonna add in a... Okay, we need to add in an expression, and we're gonna make it fade out. That's good enough. Yes, that's more than good enough. That's perfect. Oh no, I'm lagging. I hate screen recording while making music. It just makes everything so much more slow and frustrating. But there we go. We have a little counter melody, but of course this counter melody needs to be just like a similar tone to the main melody since they're occurring at different spots. So we'll boost 3K on the counter melody since it will never interact with the main melody. Oh, it does overlap. Oh, never mind, I'm stupid. It does overlap with it. So we're gonna reduce the 3K and we're gonna just boost this. I think it would sound so good with something that will just tickle the high airs of the 10K and 20K range. We're gonna remove this low pass filter and we're just gonna see how it turns out. And if it's good, we'll leave it in. Okay, a little too harsh there. Okay, sounds a little off. Maybe we just need to put it in the background a little bit. Maybe not everyone's meant to be the star of the show. Some people need to be washed in reverb because they're a little ugly, and you can just, cover their ugliness with some makeup. So we're gonna put some makeup on this ugly sounding flute instead of choosing a new sound because I'm too lazy, by putting a reverb. So what type of makeup should we put on this sound? Oh wow, wait. Dream Hall. That's like I love the word dream. I'm like obsessed with dreamcore and that like Zoomer shit. Maybe it's Gen Alpha shit now, but okay, that's besides the point. Now we have some reverb on this. Yes, it's beautiful. Oh, the ambience. Wow. It's just echoing in the back like a whale. We need one more thing. We can't have reverb without echo. We want a soundscape of just washing flutes and crystalline skies. Maybe we can just add some echo on the bells, like more echo. Let's just do a basic echo. Do a slower echo, like 1/8 dotted. Nope, that doesn't work. How about 1/4, but we turn down the color and turn down the volume? Yes, there's this rhythmic galloping caused by this delay. It kind of gives a feeling of nature, like a horse trotting. Oh, nature, that's a good idea. We're gonna add a sound background just to make everything feel a little more real, just a little more tangible, just a little more beautiful. We're just gonna find some nature sounds right here. Using those nature sounds, we're just gonna add maybe monkeys screeching, some crickets chirping, some raindrops. I think this forest sound would fit really nice, and along with some ambient rain sounds. Maybe we can use Rainmaker 2 just to add a little wetness to this soundscape, because I'm obsessed with moistness, a feeling of nature, rainy day. So we're going to add Rainmaker to simulate the rainy days I had when I was in elementary again. I was about to dox myself there. So we're gonna look for Rainmaker. Where are you, Rainmaker? Where the fuck is Rainmaker? Oh wow, I can't even find it. It's like elusive. Oh, it should be right here. Air, quiet music, Rainmaker 2. There you go, I found Rainmaker, and now we're just gonna use the default rain sound because no one uses this anyways. I don't have to worry about it being generic. Oh, that's very stormy. That's a lot of boomy lows and muddy mids. We'll just use a high patness. Yes! Just a bright wetness. So much subtle ambience that you can barely hear, but it adds so much. I think the chirping is a little too loud. Now we can just reuse our little reverb that we put the makeup just to make everything feel more real. And to add a section of anticipation, we can mute the ambience right before a new section starts. Wow! Wow, it already sounds much more professional, much more listenable. We just need to add in a little quote-unquote mastering using some pay-to-win plugins, and we should be complete for a track that can be used in an obscure indie OST without anyone batting an eyelid. So I'll just play the final bad boy for you, starting from the section we've been working on. And I hope you've learned something. If you didn't, then yeah, I guess it's that.